good afternoon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I'm going to say a powerful welcome. And I would encourage you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, click on the subscribe button and then put on your notification bell so that anytime I release any other video, you will be notified. Okay, I am Adesua Oni, and if you are a returning subscriber, I say welcome. Thank you for coming again and again and again and again. Okay, in this particular video, I'll be talking about lifestyle. This is our lifestyle section, and I say it often and often that on subsequent weeks, on alternate weeks, I talk about pregnancy and childbirth, and then on the following week, I will talk about lifestyle principles. So this session is about lifestyle principles. So in previous editions, I've been talking about 5 love languages of children. I've talked about the giving of gifts. I've talked about physical touch and quality time. So today I'll be talking about acts of service. Acts of service, which is very, very important. Very important. There are some children that their love language is acts of service, and you have to be able to discover this. You should be able to discover it. Find this out about your children. It's very, very important that you do so. Figure out what your child's love language is. Yes. Pay close attention to these children. Pay very, very close attention to them so that you'll be able to know, okay, I think this child's love language, it begins to manifest from age 4, 5. Before the age of 5, you may not be able to say exactly what this child's love language is. But as from the age of 5 upwards, you'll be able to be cocksure that this is my child's love language. But that doesn't stop you from expressing the other love languages, because you need to do all of these things together. You cannot stop words of affirmation. You cannot stop doing acts of service. You cannot stop giving gifts if you discover that your child's love language is quality time. It just means that you have to give more attention to that love language, to that major love language of that child. I hope you understand. So in the coming week, after next week, the upper week, we'll be talking about words of affirmation, which will be the last love language we will be talking about. So in the acts of service, it is it is one of the toughest love language to show, to do, to carry out, to practice. That's the word I want to use. It's one of the toughest, and it's one of the most emotionally demanding, one of the most physically draining. So there is a very important thing I want to say. If you are not physically strong and your emotional health is not strong, that is, if your physical health and your emotional health is not balanced, you will not be able to do acts of service perfectly. So you need to pay attention to yourself first and ensure that you're emotionally and physically balanced, so that you will be able to give. You cannot give what you don't have. And if you're not emotionally and physically balanced, that your patterns of sleeping, of exercise and eating will be disrupted. So it will keep on having a rebound effect on you. So now the number 1 purpose of acts of service, this particular love language, is not to please your child. Take note of that. You are not doing acts of service like, serving your child, helping your child, assisting your child because you want to please your child. You are doing what is best for that child. So when you give acts of service, you give service that is best, what is mentally, physically, spiritually best for that child, not just pleasing the child. For instance, your acts of service should not be about buying chocolates for that child, because the child may want that, but you have to give what is best to that child, like giving fruits instead. I hope you understand. So that's the most important thing we need to understand when it comes to acts of service. To fulfill these children's need for love, you would have to use the other love languages too. Yes, I said this when I was talking about giving of gifts. Yes, you have to use other love languages, because you cannot just be doing acts of service without giving good words of affirmation. You understand? It's like you are serving somebody and you are using harsh words, you are using critical words on that person. You are doing acts of service, but you don't want to spend any quality time. You can't even give acts of service without spending quality time. You know, it's more or less goes somehow hand in hand. And then eventually you would really need to spend time with that child. So you will discover that this love languages actually connect with each other. So another thing about acts of service is that you give service that is age appropriate. Not that you expect that a 7-year-old child that is supposed to be able to tie a shoelace, wear a uniform, get ready for school, then you do things that are you know that the child is already supposed to be able to do perfectly well. No, when you are giving acts of service, you do for that child the things that the child is struggling with, things that the child is finding very, very tough to do. You know, they might be everyday things, but you know that that child has not really gotten a full grasp of those things, like washing dishes, you know, doing things that would naturally delay that child in the morning when the child is hurrying off to school, like homework, repairing bicycles, repairing sports gadgets that they use. You know that you might not find it so easy. You understand? The child might not find it so easy to get those things done. So when you assist the child to do those things, the child feels, yes, my mom, my dad is really, really helping me. So make sure that they are age appropriate. You understand? Don't do things that are convenient for that child already. You know, making of meals, they are not convenient for children. You understand? Until that child gets to the age, maybe 14, 15, 16, you know, the child gets to see making meals as, oh, so easy. It's straightforward. But a younger child cannot find making of meals easy. So that's an act of service. You're actually serving that child. And when you are doing it, you do it with joy. You don't do it like you are being mandated, like you are angry, like, oh, I am forced to do this. I'm doing this not in my will. I'm doing it out of my will. That child will not feel safe. The child will not feel wonderful about what you have done for him. So now, when we are also giving acts of service as parents, we must be careful that we are not trying to make those children replicas of us. For example, okay, let me explain perfectly well. When you are doing acts of service, make sure that you are helping that child, number one. Number two, make sure that you are training that child to be able to help him or herself. So acts of service does not mean that you will not train that child to be able to help him or herself. You have to train that child to be able to do things for herself, because that is love. When you train a child to be able to do things for himself, that is the actual showing of love. You are destroying a child if you are doing for him or her the things that he should be able to do by him or herself. So you teach them. Teach them is very, very important. Rather than help them discover their own, we should help them to discover their own skills rather than force our own opinions or our own skills and talents down their throat. Some parents are like that. Okay, you are fantastic with doing this particular thing. Maybe you like playing tennis, you like cooking in a particular manner, and you're trying to train your child to do it the exact same way you are doing it. No, we should be careful not to try and force our own systems. Don't make your child to be a replica of you. Let the child glide with the natural endowment that child has from heaven. Let that child glide with it. Let it spring forth. Let it come out. Let the child's skills and talents come out, even as you are trying to give loving service. Loving service is the word. And loving service is not slavery. So when you are doing acts of service, don't consider it as you people are suffering me in this house. As in, don't consider it as slavery. You know, most of you parents fall into that trap when you've been working. You know, I am not above this. That's why I'm actually laughing. You know, we are all in a learning phase, and that is why I picked up this book, and that is why I'm sharing with us the things that I've learned from this book. So we should be able to give loving service. Don't feel as if you are serving don't give service in resentment. Don't resent what you are doing or do it in bitterness or in anger. You know, May God have mercy on us. May we not do things that we feel that are right, but you are not doing it in the right frame of mind, with the right motive. You understand? These are things that will be rewarded. Service that will be rewarded has to come from a joyful and a loving heart. And I know that this also goes with the Holy Scriptures. You understand? Even service that God will accept from us has to come from a joyful heart. It has to come with willingness and, with a lot of love inside our hearts to that person or to those persons. So we should also be careful that our acts of service are not conditional love. Don't love your child when your child only does what is right, or when your child makes you happy. So we should not make meals or serve our children or serve our loved ones only when they make us happy. That is not love. That is now conditional. You have attached a condition to the service that you are giving. We want our children to be kind. We want our children to be generous to others. We want our child to give without expecting anything back. That is the true heart of giving, right? So we have to mirror those things. We have to mirror it to them. These children you cannot deceive them. So if you want your child to be loving to that child and to other people. If you want your child to be a giver, let your child see you giving to people. And one way to do this is to host people in your house. Apart from hosting people, when you go out in the public or when you are in the church, give to other people. Show genuine love and interest in other people. Then they would pick these things and know that my mom is actually a very nice woman. My mom does not speak harshly to people. My mom does not do these things. It's not what you tell them that they will do. It is what they see you do that they will reflect. They tend to copy what you do every time. So let us act of service. You cannot be it. You cannot teach it without being it. You have to be it. In fact, this is a huge challenge to me myself. Like, it's not like I'm perfect, but I'm striving for perfection. I'm looking for ways to be better every day. I don't take my steps backwards, I take steps forward, and that is why I'm sharing with you this afternoon. So another way to do this is to host people in your house. I don't do this. I don't think since when my child has been 2, my firstborn, I don't think I've hosted anybody or I'll add any special visitors. Okay, I've had visitors, but they just stay for a few, maybe 1 hour and then go. And okay, I've had 1 or 2 visitors like that, but we didn't make it to look very official, like we are doing something cool, something very great. Maybe I'll start putting together plans to do that more often, maybe once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks, and make it to be a family tradition. Make it a BBS family tradition to host other people. These children learn family hospitality. A child cannot be hospitable if you did not teach that child to be hospitable. The child gets to higher institution and not want people to sit in her space. We not want people to get on her bed or roll around with her or take her things, because you have not exposed that child to mingling with people in their own private space. Not in school now. School is different. When you host people in your house, you make them comfortable with caring for other people and serving other people, because you will make meals for them, you will serve them, you will make them comfortable. You understand? You make sure that everywhere is clean, everywhere is presentable, and then you serve meals, you joke, you laugh, you make a lot of, you watch videos, you do things that are fun, and then the child will, learn that you have to be hospitable to people. So that is one way to make your child kind, to make your child hospitable and generous. Give. Let your child see you giving. If it has to come to donations and all those things, let your child know the reason, the morale behind what you are doing. So what are the ways by which you can do acts of service for a child? Help your child to practice for a sport. If the child wants to have a sport, maybe a football, a tennis, sport, anything that is coming up, help the child to prepare. you know, help the child to prepare, and the child appreciates this a lot, because, you know, the child may not be able to do this by him or herself. You know, there are so many things that children cannot do independently. So when you do it with them, they feel the gravity of your acts of service. They feel it so very, very much. Then assist them to repair their gadgets that spoiled. I mentioned this before. Maybe their bicycles, their toys, you know, they always spoil their toys. So when you put it up together again for them, they feel so very happy and very, very pleased if their love language is acts of service. You will notice that people that the act of service is love language, when they cannot do something for themselves and you do it for them, they feel so very happy and they say, thank you, ma. When you serve them, when you wash the dishes for them, when you tie their shoelaces for them, things that they find very challenging, when you do it for them, they feel very, very, very happy. So involve them in church activities, in local community service. Anything you go out there, don't leave them out of what you do. This one too, I have to really do something drastic about it, yes. Because I do a lot of things that they may not even know I'm doing. Maybe because I feel that they are still children. My firstborn is 4-year-old. My secondborn is about to be 2-year-old. So I still feel that they are little, but this is the best time to actually put those structures in place so that they will just walk into it, they will live into it. Not that when they are fully grown, you now try to start mending things. This is actually the best time. So choose one area in which you want to serve your child consistently every day or every week. Choose a particular area, knowing the peculiarity of your own child. Choose that particular thing that you know that, okay, above the normal expectations of that child, not things that you already do normally. Something that you don't do often. Choose that particular thing and make a plan to do it from time to time for that child. Then another time is when they are sick, when they are not down, when they are down, when they are physically down. When you do act of service for them, they feel very, very pleased and very, very happy. So make a list of the favorite activities of your child that they do. Periodically do these activities with them when they least expect it. When they are not expecting it from you, do it with them. So these are the instructions from the author of the book. These are not my own instructions, but these are instructions of people that have done it. They've been there. They are schooling us on those things. And before you know it, you begin to connect with your child in a deep level. It's good to talk to you today. I'm very, very happy to have you here. I'm very, very excited. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking this video. Yes, thank you for sharing this video. Yes, I know you will share this video. Share this video with your friends, with your contacts. Yes, and encourage them to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Put on your notification bell so that anytime I release any other video, you will be notified. All right, have a beautiful day.